Hi and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading I'm pulling through some energy. I've had a couple of messages in meditation, in dreams, and I've been getting a couple of specific songs that have been either just on repeat in my head or playing on repeat in my random shuffles. So I'm going to pull some cards on it. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me. First, I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the message. All of the readings are timeless. Whenever you stumble across it, you are meant to find it. Part of your soul's journey, part of your guides, aligning you with pieces of the puzzle that help you click your soul puzzle together. This reading will be found in a big playlist that I'm doing at the moment called The Wheel Within the Wheel, 777. It is synchronicities that I am finding that are happening between what's currently playing out in the collective on a smaller wheel that align with a bigger historical wheel. So if that sounds like something that interests you, you're more than welcome to go and have a look at the other readings in that playlist, just whatever you are intuitively drawn to. And you will find that there are messages that overlap in between all of those readings, because it is literally a wheel within a wheel, within a wheel, within a wheel, within a wheel. Now, all of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator. If you're called to any of those, the links to them can be found in the description box. I'm going to pull a card first. I want an angel card, and then I'll get into the messages. That one. What have we got on the bottom? Number 10. Good health helps with anger and rage. Okay, that's interesting given the messages that are coming through. And that one wants to be seen too. 39, Rihel, I don't know if that's pronunciation of that, heals the sick. Now, number 39 is the Three of Swords. So that's heartbreak, which aligns with the message. And then we have number 44. Now, 44 is a number of protection, of divine protection, meaning in this specific instance with what I am discussing, even though there has been heartbreak, there will be divine retribution. There will be, God is watching over us. God is watching over us from a distance. The Bette Midler song. Number 44 is the High Priestess. Things that are hidden are coming to light. The High Priestess is about things that are hidden. I'm going to get some more information on those particular angels before I go any further. I just need to get my iPad. So this particular angel gives protection against armies and magistrates and during trials, and gives victory. That's just beautiful. These angel cards that I've been pulling at the beginning of each reading align beautifully with the messages that are coming through. At the moment, your intuition, everybody's intuition is really, really on point. Listen to the messages that you are receiving. I wasn't going to do this reading this morning. I've been pulling through these messages, but I thought, oh, do I do it or do I not? And then the song that's been on repeat played in the car when I went out this morning. I thought, right, that is my sign that I need to do this reading. So this is about crimes within the military. Moral guardian for those born the 2nd of May, the 13th of July, the 23rd of September, the 4th of December, and the 14th of February. And the physical guardian for those born the 21st to the 25th of October. Now let's have a look at this one. Bear with me while I just Google. Moral guardian for those born the 27th of April, the 8th of July, the 18th of September, the 29th of November, and the 9th of February. And the physical guardian for those born the 26th to the 30th of September. Okay, now let me give you the messages. And you can see, this is things I wrote down before I pulled these cards. The messages that I was getting through. I was hearing the destruction of Moab. M-O-A-B. Now, I had to look that up, but Jeremiah 48 is where that comes from, the destruction of Moab. page 874, if you're wanting to, well, it depends if your Bible is the same as mine, but that number might be significant. I was hearing the word tick, tick, boom. I was hearing the word Judgment Day, the word Truman, the tribes of Moab. And then I had a dream where I kept seeing, it was one of those dreams where it kind of flicked from one thing to the next. But the thing that was the same in every dream was that I kept seeing this number, 260,000. It's not of any significance to me. It doesn't make any sense in the context of things that are happening in my life. But in one part of the dream, it was written on a wall. In another part of the dream, it was like a neon sign. In another part of the dream, it was on the TV. And then it flicked to another part of the dream where it was the number plate on a car, 260,000. Now, I put it in context with this Moab, which was what I was getting, Moab. The destruction of Moab. Now, Moab is it an acronym? It is an acronym for Mother of All Bombs. Tick, tick, boom, Judgment Day. Now, I got Truman. Truman has been coming through in my random shuffle songs, The Truman Show. And it's in reference to other things, but I think also there's this underlying message. Now, Truman gave the green light to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, when I put 260,000, I was just doing a bit of a Google search, and I don't know if this is the connection. If you know something else, which is this 260,000, please put it in the comments, because we all have pieces of the puzzle. 260,000 people were living in Nagasaki when that second bomb was dropped. So they dropped the first one, I think, on August 6th, and then the second one on the 9th of August or the 8th of August. But I was hearing karmic retribution. Now, Truman was the first to call Israel in 1948, once it was passed through the UN that they were going to have their own country. I was drawn to some information about the UN War Crimes Tribunal, the Nuremberg trials, which happened in 1945 and 1946. I was also drawn to the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, young children who had a visitation, and then on the morning, I think it was the morning of May 13th, 1917, and I'm not sure where that fits within World War I, but I'm pretty sure May 13th or May 14th, let me Google it. Yeah, Memorial Day, the 13th of May, 2025. That will usher in Israel's 77th year, which starts on the 14th of May. So there's a link between the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, and she talked about a world war that would be worse than the first one, which was World War II, but then other things to come. I was hearing the term Mother Mary is cleaning house, and Mother Mary means Mother Gaia. The other songs that I was hearing, so I got Mother by Pink Floyd. Now the line in that song is, Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb? I got the song 1917. That's been coming through for ages. 1917. And that's from the movie 1917. It's like the score, like the main soundtrack song. So that reference to the year 1917, which is when Our Lady of Fatima started appearing to big communities every month for 6 months. I got overnight, I kept hearing fire in the belly, and a heart of stone standing in the hall of fame. Let me look up the lyric of that. Yeah, but the script. Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can win the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door, you can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks. Some will call that practice, some will call that luck, but either way, you're going to the history books. I'm getting this, standing in the hall of fame, and the world's going to know your name because you burn with the brightest flame. And the world's going to know your name. I'm actually getting, somebody's about to be remembered for the destruction that they caused. The Bible verses that I was called to, heals the sick. The Bible verses that I was called to was Ezekiel 3:8. When I say to the wicked, you wicked person, you will surely die, and you do not speak out to dissuade them from their ways, then that wicked man will die with his iniquity, yet I will hold you accountable for his blood. Essentially what that means is God is saying, if I announce that an evil man is going to die, but you don't warn him to change his ways so that he can save his life, so that he can save his soul, then he will still perish as a sinner, but I will hold you responsible for his death. Jeremiah 1948 was when Truman called Israel. Jeremiah 48, the destruction of Moab. The message I'm getting is there is going to be some sort of karmic retribution 80 years later for the innocent civilians that perished in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Irrespective of how dreadful the Japanese army were and all of the awful things. And I mean, my grandfather was a navigator. He went and picked up the Australian prisoners of war from the Japanese prisons and brought them home. But there's a difference, and I get from that in that Ezekiel passage, is that if you have a soldier who goes to war, they go there knowingly, they go there willingly, not necessarily willingly, but that they are aware of the risk that they are taking. But when you take the life of a civilian, there is divine justice to pay. Now, something horrendous, and I didn't know anything about it, popped up in my feed yesterday. My guides send me, and I don't know who my guides are. Maybe it's my higher self. I watched a video of an American lady, and please excuse my stomach, I'm fasting. I watched a video of an American, I don't think she was a reporter. I think she was actually in politics, but she was talking about the program that the Israeli army installed in their drones. So basically, they use drone warfare. So into the software of the drone, and it's called Lavender. Into the software of the drone, they put the parameters of how that drone is allowed to scan a group of people, a crowd of people, and assess a target. And once that drone then assesses that target and the target meets the criteria, that drone is then given, as part of the inbuilt software, that drone is then given the green light to fire at the target. And this particular woman, I was watching an interview and she was talking about, it was from 2024. And in the past 12 months, we've had so many doctors who've come back from working in the hospitals in Gaza who say that women and children, young children, babies, young children, kids under 10, are coming into the hospital either on death's door or deceased with pinpoint accuracy, bullet wounds between the eyes or straight through the heart, either from a sniper or from these drones. And what she was talking about was the fact that it's very well known that the parameters of who is a potential target were stretched out, and now the net is wider. And so, of course, you're seeing these women and children and babies being killed. But it was stretched out because if we go back to when I was talking about in 1945, 1946, the Nuremberg trials, the war crimes tribunals, if a drone kills a civilian using this lavender software within the war crimes legislation, I want to say, it actually puts a barrier up between the drone and the soldier. So in other words, they can get away with killing innocent civilians without the act being attached to an individual within the army. 44, the High Priestess. And God sees everything, including what happened in World War I and World War II on both sides of the fence. I used gematria, and I just put a couple of the keywords that I was picking up on into gematria. I'll give you the numbers that they gave, as well as some of the words that I pulled through. And then I went looking for any references within the Bible of those numbers or words. Let me just get... Oh, we've got a maybe. Trapped. Yes or a no. It's a real family, friends and children and life path. It's interesting because yesterday when all of this stuff was coming through and I was kind of just taking down my notes, keep calm at this time. And this is often the way messages come through. My husband was watching something on Netflix, and I don't even know what it was, but I just caught a bit of it. And it was a group of English thieves who had done this big diamond robbery. But what I got from it was they were so aware. I think all of the things that had happened in that particular theft should have accounted to like 23 years in jail. But they only served 1 year because they knew the law like the back of their hand. And the way they set up the crime was so that they could evade the time spent in prison. Trapped. Maybe somebody's making somebody else a scapegoat. Well, in this instance, it would be the drone. The drone is the scapegoat. It's bending the law, bending the truth. Okay, I'm just going to get an energy for this. The Nine of Cups. And the Three of Pentacles, what you built. The Three of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn. A fire in the belly. And the Nine of Cups is Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is expansion. That's a wish fulfillment card. In the aspect of somebody doing something, dropping an atomic bomb, using a drone. It's almost sneaking around, conniving, manipulative. And I know some of those drones, back in the beginning of last year, there were reports. They had the sounds of babies crying being played over the drones or through the drones. And so the women would come out because they would hear a baby crying, and then the drone would shoot them. They were the target. They were being lured out. But the broken spiritual law here, the Nine of Cups. God is watching from a distance. Okay, let's get... So, what I did... I put my songs on random shuffle and I got throat chakra. It's expression, it's truth. Tick, tick, boom. 376 and 786. 376 is Golden Gate Falls. 786 is John F. Kennedy. The Garden of Eden, the Angel of Death, it is finished. The eagle has landed. Lights out. Mother Earth, Bibi Netanyahu, and Zionists. Go figure, right? 376 in Strong's Concordance is a man crippled or maimed. I then put in lavender. 855 and 486. Vanish out of sight and made invisible, meaning that it's almost got that enemy at the gates kind of feeling to it. There might be something in that movie. It's like a hidden military tool. And I don't know what happened, but, you know, after that atomic bomb was dropped, like, did anybody ever take America to, yeah, okay, it ended the war. But was anybody ever made accountable for that? I mean, obviously we had the Nuremberg trials for the war crimes that happened within the German army, which were horrific. Don't get me wrong, which were horrific. But it's interesting, right? I just heard it's an eye for an eye. What is this? Vanish out of sight, made invisible. Meaning, catch me if you can. You can't catch me because I've manipulated the law so that I can't be charged. Now, I put in 1917. It aligns with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1170. 1, 2, 3, 4 aligns with witness, poetic justice, swimmers. 1170 aligns with 777, the last president, the best is yet to come, the great solar flash, the high priestess, which is the card we've got, the Holy Grail bloodline, and the year of the dragon. It's karmic retribution. In Strong's Concordance, it aligns with breach, hatch, and murmur. Stamped to pieces and laying in wait. How dreadful is that? As I was writing these messages down, I got Babylon Has Fallen. The other thing I got this morning, I was just listening to a reading, and then when the reading finished, it flicked into something else, and I didn't have a chance to change it. But this woman was talking about a large building falling, being torn down. Now, she wasn't talking about 9/11. This was a reading from a year ago. But before she said it, I was like, Babylon has fallen. And I didn't have the context of what she was about to say. Then I turned the reading off and I just put my songs back on. And I got New York, New York. And then I got, hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? So 2 references to New York. I put in the word atomic bomb. 277 and 558. Get this. 277, cloud, completed, the Big Apple. And then 558, I don't think, this is just my writing, right? This is just my scrawl. 558, Saturn, Flotus, Iron Dome, End of Day, and Weapons. And finally, I put in Moab into Gematria, 83 and 186, without wavering. And then 186 in Gematria is Jacob, bees, and rage. Now, Jacob, when he wrestled with God, was 77. On May 13th will be the last day. May 14th is Israel's 77th year. Interesting, right? Right, so let's pull some cards. Let's have a look at the energy around whatever this is. Moab, mother of all bombs. Wow, Babylon is falling. That's 3 of Pentacles is building. Mars in Capricorn. upside down, reversed. It's the tower is about to fall. It's coming down. It's out of balance. Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hidden. That is the Two of Swords, which is the moon in Libra. God's watching from a distance. It's almost like, and if you're a parent, you'll understand. A mother normally says to a child, did you take the last bicky? Or did you take the last piece of cake? If they've done something that they shouldn't have done. The mother already knows the answer. God is watching. I've been hearing God is a woman for a very long time. Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. And when a mother asks that question, she already knows the answer. I know with my kids, my kids are in their 20s now, but, I would ask that question. I already knew. And you'd sit there and you'd watch this kid lie through their teeth. I didn't take it. Knowing full well, but they wouldn't even have to speak. You knew. Mother Earth is watching. The moon. The moon is the divine feminine. The moon is Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. It's almost like, what did you learn from the horrible things that happened? What did you learn from the horrible things that happened in World War II? The innocent lives that were lost in World War II. Because there was an opportunity, and I think that that's what the apparition, Our Lady of Fatima, said to those children. I need you to bring back people every month on the same date for 6 months, and each time more and more and more people came back. She was trying to remind them of how to be a good person. But what did you learn from World War II if you then go and create? And in fact, the atomic bomb was being created since 1939 was, I think, when it started. What did you learn? Clearly nothing. If you then go and create programs that allow you to widen the scope on a potential target to a point where you are targeting civilians, women and children. But you're able to do that because you know you can't be tried for it. A double-edged sword. What's happening in the soul? No soul. Now, this particular card is a death card. It's Scorpio and Pluto. I don't know what date it is. I want to say, let me just look. I'm glad I checked. It's May the 12th. It's coming out just before Independence Day. Just before the apparition of Our Lady of Fatima. It's the full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is secrets. The High Priestess. There's some things that are going to come out that we are not going to like hearing, or that we already know, but we're just waiting for confirmation on. I don't know why I just heard a rumble in the jungle. It's been hidden. Life path. Whoever these people are that have done this. Now, here I am talking on a global, a global stage level, meaning what's happening, what can we see within countries and current wars that are waging, or current wars that are being waged. But this energy trickles all the way down. This kind of dynamic might be playing out within your family, within your workplace. Something's coming to light with the Scorpio full moon. Now, May 12th. It's the 29th of April today. Interesting. That's Scorpio. Death and rebirth. Queen of Cups. This is a message from the man upstairs. We are being asked to trust our intuition. If you have been guided to a piece of information about something individually that's happening with you, or collectively on a global scale, If these people are so hell-bent on bending the rules to cover something up, they will try and continue to cover it up. You need to trust your intuition. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's a duck. You need to trust your intuition. 3 of Wands. Get yourself the hell out of there. Right. The outcome of this situation. 2 of Pentacles. I just heard what goes around comes around. The divine is balancing Mother Earth, 2 twos. If you think about the story of creation, the creation of Eve was Genesis 2:2:2. That's divine feminine energy. 6 of Cups. That's the sun in Scorpio. Holy moly. I was just talking about the sun in Scorpio. What's hidden is coming to light. The sun in Scorpio. That's things from the past. Truth, King of Swords. Uranus in Libra, balance. The King of Swords. Uranus is sudden shocking events. It's the planet of earthquakes. Uranus, the planet of earthquakes. Things that are going to shake us to the core. Already had the upside down. 3 of Pentacles there. Things that are going to shake us to the core. Two butterflies just flew past together. It's also who's been lying in bed with who. Meaning, and I wrote it, but I wrote it wrong. Let me show you. I kind of got, because I was just kind of scribbling stuff down in the middle of the night. When you lie with thieves, you sleep with dogs. Now, obviously, that's, when you lie with dogs, you get fleas. So interesting. So interesting, this reading. Okay, let's have a look at this tower coming down. The 3 of Pentacles. It's the mother of all bombs. Now, that is the Ace of Cups. It's a big spiritual lesson. Part of the life path of everybody collectively for this tower to fall, because it's meant to bring in a spiritual awakening. We, as a collective, have been held in this energy of being controlled by the top, in this energy of, oh wow, the news said that this happened, it must be true. And it's a way of manipulating things so that you don't actually see what's happening underneath the surface. It's a bit like Israel uses Gaza, and it's widely known. Israel uses one of the biggest exporters of surveillance equipment in the world. Their surveillance equipment is used by many of the police services in the big first world countries in the world. But in order to get it operation ready, they have to use it. It has to be tried and tested in the field. Well, they use it in Gaza, and then they sell it and its capabilities to police forces around the world. So the people in Gaza are being used as guinea pigs. It's a huge, big spiritual awakening for us all. And I just heard skin bank. There's also stuff, and it came through probably 18 months ago in regards to the hermit, what's hidden. It's a spiritual awakening. The lights coming on. It's a bit like, as I said, you know, that the atomic bomb was being made from 1939. They just needed somebody to, there might be something in that movie, Oppenheimer. They just needed somebody, they needed a guinea pig. The hermit. The sleeping dragon. Where was that? Yeah, the year of the dragon, 1917. I had some dreams probably 18 months ago in regards to prisoners of war not being returned bodies not being returned from Israel, and organs being harvested. Let's have a look, which is just... we've been fooled. Yeah, look at that deception. Deception on the surface. Looks all great on the surface, but it's wicked underneath. That's Uranus. We've been fooled. The Seven of Swords is deception. Hidden under a layer of Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. And we've been fooled. Death card. Opportunity for a new beginning. We're being guided. The Six of Swords is about the divine guiding us out of a situation where we've had the wool pulled over our eyes. Look at that on the bottom. That's the Nine of Pentacles. That's Mother Mary. Mother Mary, Mother Gaia. Our Lady of Fatima. Who? Four of Swords. Who? Because we've got Three of Swords here. Healing after heartbreak. Our Lady of Fatima was giving messages to those children because children are innocent. Children can't be manipulated. Well, they can, but you know what I mean. She was giving messages to those children about the horrible things that were to come. The Queen of Cups, intuition, the Hierophant on the bottom. Wow. The Hierophant is the Pope. Well, he just passed away, didn't he? The Page of Wands. That's the Sun in Gemini. And the Empress. You're being asked to trust your intuition. Not gender specific, but if you think about Mother's intuition, Queen of Cups is intuition. The divine is trying to usher us out of a phase where we are relying on what we are seeing, what we are hearing as gospel, as true. And in order to tap us into this beautiful divine feminine energy, which is rising in the collective, in order to tap us into it, to make us only trust, to go within for the answers, we have to have been deceived in some sort of way by people that we trust, by news sources that we trust. The Four of Pentacles. In order to release it, the Four of Pentacles is the Sun in Capricorn. It's about holding on too tight to the trust that what somebody is telling you is true. Now look at that. That's Seven of Pentacles. That is my Jacob card in this deck. He's even got 7-7 on his leg in a Z, which is the end. Z is the last letter in the alphabet, but Jacob was deceived. Jacob went to his uncle. Yes, he married his cousin. Jacob went to his uncle and he said, I want to marry your daughter. And his uncle said, deceptively, sure, no worries, work for me for 7 years and then you can have her hand in marriage. And so he did. But on the day of the wedding, his uncle veiled her sister. And so he was tricked into marrying her sister. There's a deception here. Temperance. Divine timing. This is 77. You know, May 13th, May 14th is when Israel turns 77. Jacob was 77 when he wrestled with God. And I think for many people, this is going to be once this stuff comes out. And I do say it quite often, and it's probably because the veil was lifted quite a while ago for me. I'm 50 this year, all through my childhood, you know, the Holy Land and all this sort of stuff. But not everything is as it seems. And if we're talking about faith here, now I'm Catholic, there is a huge population of the Catholic Christian community that is going to go through this massive soul awakening when this stuff comes to light. Because they have been blindly on the side of people who wish to deceive them. The Christian community is actually Jacob at the moment, about to realize on the wedding day that they have been deceived by Laban. And once that happens, the whole thing comes crashing down. I saw a drawing the other day, and I think I mentioned it in another reading. It was basically the Israeli Prime Minister. It was like a cartoon. The Israeli Prime Minister, and there was one tower here and it was Christianity, and there was one tower here and it was Islam. Now, there are three Abrahamic faiths, and he was basically standing there and he had his hand kind of on one tower and hand on the other tower, trying to keep them apart, because what will actually happen is if people within Islam and Christianity actually unite because of a deception, then the devil doesn't win. Interesting. Very, very interesting. The King of Pentacles. It's greed and power that's winning at the moment, because greed and power controls the media, specifically in America. Greed and power controls the media. And I watched something yesterday about James Packer, who's Australian, being pulled into, now he's got basically the big media empire here in Australia and obviously in America as well, but he's just been brought into Netanyahu's corruption case, controlling the media, money that controls the media, and not necessarily in, for example, in Australia. Our setup for, we're about to go and have an election. Our setup isn't the same as in the States, where election campaigns are funded by people that would donate to the party. You have to wonder, right? If somebody with a specific agenda has got enough cash to control the media and to control the government, then they can kind of do whatever they want. The High Priestess. Where else do we have it? The High Priestess. Things are coming to light. Okay, let's get anything else. Spying energy. Be confident. And transformation. As people are waking up to what's going on, you will have people, like in the morning, you're either a morning person or you're not. Me, once I wake up, I'm awake. That's it. I could literally drive a car 2 seconds later. But you have people who take a long while and are quite grumpy because they don't want to get out of bed. Trapped, maybe. Interesting. Mother of all bombs. Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb? The full moon in Pisces is here. Time to shake things up. It's a spiritual awakening. A huge global spiritual awakening. And why is it happening this way? It's happening on the world stage because it's time for the whole world to get this shake up. Unleash the serene vibes of the disseminating moon and just take a big relaxing breath. If you know what's going on, if you're watching tarot readings, if you're picking up Queen of Cups, that's intuition. If you're picking up this energy already, then as you see it happening, you'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. But if literally things are being shook to the core, get ready for some serious cash flow. The Taurus full moon promises prosperity galore. Now, we're about to go into, well, May is Taurus season. May, Taurus is about the sacrifice. The bull. Taking this new information, taking the bull by the horns. I think of the red heifers in Israel that are about to be sacrificed because they want to build the third temple. But in order to do that, they have to destroy something else. Or they have to destroy the Dome of the Rock, which is the Muslim temple. Okay. I'm going to get three Scrabble tiles. Okay. I'm not. I'm going to get 3 final cards. I'm going to get you some Scrabble tiles. Let's just see what comes out. It does make a little bit of noise when I shake it. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. Now, I thought this promises prosperity galore. Some serious cash flow. Maybe there will be something that comes out in the media, because I was getting that 260,000. Maybe 260,000 is a bribe, or an amount of money, or an amount of people that have perished. A S and a 1. A sign, an N and a 1. A T and a 1. How many tons does a bomb weigh? 9,700 pounds, 4,400 kilograms. The Fat Man bomb used on Nagasaki. Even the fact that they had a name for it. Okay, this is terrible. The little boy atomic bomb used on Hiroshima weighed approximately 9,700 pounds. The Fat Man bomb used on Nagasaki weighed roughly 10,000 pounds, 4,656 kilos. Dreadful. Okay. 3 final cards. Truth. Knight of Swords. There's a truth coming out. The 6 of Swords. A truth that is designed to divinely guide us. It's a divine truth that's coming out that will guide us to calmer waters. Ace of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. It's a lesson. The Knight of Pentacles is Saturn in Capricorn. It's a lesson. This is a new beginning, the Ace of Wands. That's also lighting a fire under us as to what we thought was true. True man. And the Knight of Pentacles is something that has happened over a long period of time. 77 years. Well, longer if you go back. Actually, let's do that. 2025. Back to 1917, 108 years. Dreadful. Gemini. Now, that's kind of creepy, actually. In July this year, the 7th of the 7th, 7-7, Israel 77, Jacob 77. Jacob's wrestle with God. Israel's wrestle with God. Israel's about to wrestle with God. America's about to wrestle with God. On the 7th of the 7th this year, so that's July 7th, Uranus goes into Gemini. Uranus was in Gemini. It's in there for a 7-year period or an 8-year period. I think it's a 7-year period. Uranus went into Gemini just before they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, depending on how you say it. We're about to go into the placement. And this is this card. What goes around comes around. You were given the option to end the war, and you chose to do it with an atomic bomb. You were given the option of a new home. And what have you done in the last 77 years? Trying to steal the land from the people that were living there. Jacob tried to steal his brother's inheritance. 2 brothers. They were twins. Two brothers. Wow. That's Uranus and Gemini. What an interesting reading. That's what I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to pull that down just in case. If you picked up anything else, we could do snot. If you picked up anything else, please leave it in the comments section. Some of the comments actually, I don't get a lot of comments, but which is fine, I don't mind. But some of the comments have been great and have been like, oh, help me piece together things that I'm picking up on. It will be very interesting. This next 6 months will be very, very interesting in terms of how these big changes, these big divine changes will actually be implemented. And if you're aware of them, even if this reading is triggering for you, even if you're like, actually, you know what? I don't know if I agree with that. Just sit in it. Just sit in it and trust your intuition. What are you... I would say if you're coming to a reading like this and you're getting information like this, which actually goes against what you are thinking and believing, ask yourself why you were guided to the reading. Because change sometimes is a chipping away. You know, if I've got a child, you knock on the door in the morning and they're awake straight away. I've got another one. You've got to go back every 2 minutes. Are you up yet? Are you up yet? Are you up yet? Sometimes it's a chipping away. If the reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you call to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Any of the songs that I mentioned, or the TV shows, the Truman Show, I think I said, I'll pop in the description box. There might be more messages in there. As I said, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks again, and I will see you in another reading.